Good morning, everyone. I'm Amelia from Fulfillment Fund. It's now my great pleasure to introduce Jorge Parra. Jorge is a Fulfillment Fund alum whose journey began with us when he was in the 10th grade at Fremont High School in South Central LA in 1990. Jorge went on to attend USC, where he graduated in 1997 with a bachelor's in business administration. After USC, Jorge began his career with the Shell Oil Company as a dealer business manager. And a few years later, again with some help from the Fulfillment Fund, he was admitted to Claremont Graduate University, where he obtained his MBA with an emphasis on strategy and marketing in 2003. Jorge has held leadership roles at Jack in the Box, Propel Fuels, and is currently at Circle K Stores, where he serves as a regional director of operations, overseeing 85 fuel and convenience store businesses across Southern California. In addition, as a Fulfillment Fund alum over the years, Jorge has not only led our Alumni Association as its president, he's also successfully mentored a student for 5 years, and he supports us with a generous donation each year, fulfilling our founder, Dr. Gitnick's vision of paying it forward. Jorge, thank you so much for volunteering your time here today.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So can you start by just telling us a little bit about the company you work for, what they do, and what your job title means?
Certainly. So I currently work for Circle K Stores, and Circle K Stores is a convenience store company. And so we are all around the globe. So if you're driving by, you've probably seen Circle K stores with gas stations and things of that nature all over Los Angeles and Southern California. So more than likely, if you've been to one of those, it's probably one of the stores that I have responsibility for. And my title is a regional director. So as a regional director, I spend a lot of time basically visiting stores and talking to people, the teams that we work with that work at every location. And so I'm spending a lot of time on the road, visiting different people, different stores, and that really is the best part of my day. So in a nutshell, I don't really have an office. My office is the stores that I visit every day.
What made you decide to go into this field? What kind of person would like this sort of work?
So one of the things that really interested me, and as you mentioned, right out of USC, I knew that I wanted to do something that wasn't repetitive. So I didn't want to have a job where I was in an office every day. It really wasn't for me. I wanted to be able to get out, meet people, really extend my social skills, and just find ways to help improve a business or a process. And so this job here over the years has helped me with that. So I've been able to go out and do just that, use my degree, my experience, and really every day is just not the same. There's always something different, and that really excites me and helps me wake up every day knowing what adventure will I run into today.
And what was your major in college? Did you know that would lead to this way back then?
I didn't know. That's a great question. So when I was at USC, I took all my coursework, and I knew I wanted to be in business because my dad was in business. So he worked at the Los Angeles airport for many years, and so I used to see what he did growing up, and I thought maybe that's something I want to do. And so the more I took classes, the more I started interviewing with different companies. When I was a senior, I realized there were differences to the jobs. And once I heard, well, you can, we'll give you a vehicle, you can drive around and visit stores and improve the businesses and use your degree, that really sold me. It was really something that I thought I can really get used to this, and I've never looked back.
Do you remember how you felt when you were looking for that first job?
It was very nerve-wracking. I will say that, very nerve-wracking. And I can relate to, everyone here in high school. I mean, clearly for me, going to John C. Fremont High School in South Central, the priority was to graduate. And I had a lot of help from the Fulfillment Fund, a lot of help, going to the various meetings and having a mentor, and really people who I knew were in my corner, really pushing me to graduate. But I knew that was the first step, right? So for me, being the first person in my family to go to college, I really felt it was an important accomplishment for me. And then I thought, well, I can't stop now. So going to USC was, it was difficult, right? And challenging at the same time. But I knew that I could, if I could graduate high school, of course, the fulfillment fund was with me through USC as well, with mentoring and other alumni and students that were part of other programs. I felt like I could do this. And so when it came down to, wow, school is over now, I have to get a real job. What does that look like? I felt really prepared. I felt prepared, not just because USC got me there, but because of the support from the fulfillment fund with regards to introducing me to people and networking and meeting other successful people who were in my shoes, right? That have experienced the same thing. So when it came down to it, yes, it was nerve-wracking because I was alone in the interviews, but I felt very prepared because of all the things that USC and the fulfillment fund helped me with.
And what other education do you have or training that's required for your job or that was part of your path?
I think it's very important to have your education with you because you have a set of fundamentals, there. But I also think when I grew up, there were a lot of things like we call them street smarts. So it's really ways to understand the neighborhood, your barrio, your community, and that just happens during the routine family things, right? The get-togethers, going to the park or picnics, and so I think. You have your social skills there, and you pick up the items from school to have your foundation, and you really need both of those. I think for me, I wasn't, I wasn't the professional that I am now when I first started my career, and I think that's an important thing that I think people should know is that you're going to evolve, from your first job, year after year after year. So really for me, it took me time to learn about my style, who I am, and how I can adjust, and that doesn't just happen by yourself. You really need people around you, your friends, your family, your colleagues, other people that you meet over the course of years that you can really just ask for feedback and they can tell you, how things are going and how you can improve.
Did you encounter any challenges along that path to where you are today in your career?
Absolutely. I think, being, a Hispanic minority, in a predominantly male, I would say Caucasian field, like oil and energy there were a lot of obstacles. I think a lot of people who, wanted to see you a certain way and perhaps not advocate for you to climb the ranks, if you will. And so sometimes, you have to make a decision at that point. Am I going to continue growing my career despite, where people want to see me, or, what am I going to do about that to advocate for myself, right? And build my network and grow. So I think that along the way, the most difficult thing was to recognize what was happening, but at the same time, saying to yourself, I'm here. The hardest part about this is getting accepted into this organization, whatever it was. And at the time it was Shell Oil right out of college. So I'm here. So that's the hardest part. I passed that test. Now, can I continue to use my skills and bring what I have to the table and just have the courage every day to know that, my family was solid. My friends are doing the right things. I have a great center, and core and values, and that's going to give me, lead the way for me, right? So as long as, I'm dedicated to that, everything will work out. And so for me, it wasn't all perfect. There were ups and downs where I've, switched jobs and switched companies, but that was in an effort for me to find better opportunities. And so it's difficult, but you have to do that to get ahead.
It's great advice. We really commend you for that. Can you tell us some things you like about your job? What do you enjoy?
I think we would run out of time, if I told you all the things I like about my job. But really, the decision I think, people need to make, and the one I made for myself, is really knowing that what I really enjoy. And what I enjoy is being out in a different situation every day, and out with people that are growing their careers also, people that have established their careers, and having those conversations, because I'm the type of person I firmly believe you learn something every single day. And that comes by going out and getting advice and feedback and asking questions. I think early in my career, I was taught to go and make decisions. But the more I started to grow in my career year after year, it really becomes about, you know, a lot because you've experienced a lot, but really you learn a lot more by asking questions so that now you can become more of a coach and a mentor to people. So for me, the past few years have been very fulfilling because I've done a lot of growing personally, and I'd rather ask questions so that I can, you know, create the engagement and the relationships with the teams. I can't tell you how many new people I meet who are, you know, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, and this is their first job, and it's wonderful. I spend so much time with them. I think they get annoyed because I'm asking them so many questions about what they want to do and, you know, how to build their future and all the things that our company can provide for them to grow personally. I think that's one thing that I'm really committed to because nobody really spent that time with me during my first job telling me all these things. And the more you realize it, there's a lot, you know, and there's so many choices right now that people have to not work, to freelance and really kind of have a job or not have a job. But there's a lot to be said about working for a company and understanding everything that you can get benefit wise that can help you achieve all of your personal goals.
So if you were talking to a young person interested in following on this path, what would you suggest they do to begin?
That's a great question. I would say complete your education. And I say that because it's not that I'm, you know, that you're going to be passing an IQ test, but it's really a foundation for relationships, for teamwork, for understanding other people's points of views, right? So school, it's not just the book work, but it's all the other things that they teach you that you really want to make sure you have an understanding of, right? As people, relationships, etc. But I would also say just spending time, just really being a student of your job, and that would be, you know, determining not just for me, for example, I know that I could visit other gas stations and say, I know a lot about the business. I go shop at other gas stations, but it's really taking a step back and saying, I'm a buyer. I shop here. Where else can I take my business? What other businesses could compete with what I'm doing here in terms of the convenience store? So really it's just being a student and trying to absorb everything, reading materials, periodicals, articles, talking to other people within the company and asking them to where they would, you know, point you in what direction they would point you. I think it's really about learning, and sometimes it's the hardest thing because I can tell you, you know, I think early on, I think I knew everything coming out of college because I had the degree and I was ready to go, but you really don't. Sometimes you really have to take a step back and lean on people so that you can understand their path, so you can get pointed in the right direction.
I think you had some visuals that go along with some of this. You want to bring those up?
All right. So as I mentioned, you know, I am a Fulfillment Fund alumni, and you know, without the Fulfillment Fund and the support, I don't think I'd be here today, honestly. There were a lot of people that helped me in high school and were very attuned with what resources I needed. And, you know, like I say, being able to even get accepted to USC was the first part. So then as our relationship went, and then I graduated and I got a job over the past few years, I've been able to grow where I am today as a regional director. And so I wanted to share really quickly with everyone just a few things about our company, because I've been here now just about 8 years. And maybe when you start seeing the logos in our stores, you'll recognize where I work. So really, have you been to a Circle K store? So we started with this at the beginning. And you'll probably know one of our competitors, 7-Eleven. So if you've been to a 7-Eleven, you've probably been to a Circle K. We're pretty much, you know, the dominant convenience store companies. And as you can see, when you walk into the stores, it's not your basic gas station, right? So you've got a lot of products that we all know and love and crave, you know, so like from your chips, your donuts, your ice cream, and your fresh food and your soft drinks, among other things. But we also have fuel. So as you drive around, you need fuel for your vehicle. And then of course, we've got our famous Polar Pop and our Froster drinks. So you can see, people enjoying these beverages as well. And then last but not least, a lot of our stores have a car wash, and that's the picture to your right here. So we really try to make it easy for people when they come to our stores to be able to do all their shopping in one place, because we know you have a lot of important things to do. So one of the best parts of my day is trying all these products. So I know you think about, wow, do you eat all these every single day? I don't, but I do like the sample, and I like to share some of them with the team. So when a lot of new things come out, I'm really the first one to want to try them with our team members to see what they think. So I spend a lot of time doing that, and it's a lot of fun because it creates conversations and it builds engagement with our team. So come and meet the team. So I mentioned to you, I spend a lot of time visiting stores. It's the best part of my day because you can see our 3 employees here. This is a store we opened up just about a year ago. And we spent some time talking about customer service and keeping the dispensers clean, because we all shop at places, right? And nobody wants to go to a dirty location or a place that's unorganized. So everybody was out there throwing up the thumbs up and the peace signs because they agreed with what we were doing.
Love all the masks in the picture. How did COVID impact your stores?
Well, COVID was a big challenge, and obviously we're sort of on the back end of that, hopefully now, but people still needed fuel and people still needed their products, right? They're going to work. And so we masked up just like everyone else immediately. And we had to make sure we were following protocols. So we had to put stickers on the floor for social distancing. We had to make sure we were offering masks for our customers. Sometimes they were difficult conversations because people, right, didn't want to have to do these things, but we really wanted to make sure we steer people in the right direction to keep everyone safe, not just ourselves, but them and our vendors. And our vendors are the people that deliver the products every day. So when you think about it, these products, we don't package them. We rely on other companies to deliver them to our stores. So when you think of all the products you love, maybe it's, water, soda, juice, chips, etc. There are vendors with trucks that stop every single day and make deliveries. So we had to make sure we changed our procedures on how we stock our products. Sometimes we had to close our stores because we couldn't accommodate our customers and stock the products at the same time. So we had to take a break, usually at night, so that we had a chance to clean and sanitize the store, put the products back up, make sure everything was safe and clean and sanitized, and then we can open the doors. So it was a big challenge to do those things, but it was the right decision because we didn't want to contribute to the pandemic with an unclean or unsafe or unsanitary location. So it was very difficult, but yeah. Looking back on it now, it was the right decision because our customers recognized that we spent a lot of time doing that. So, when you think about, what do you want to do when you grow up? I would really, the advice I would give everyone is think about what you like to do, talk to people, try to spend the day in the life of, someone that has a career that you're interested in. For me, it was tagging along with my dad at work when I was young, and I kind of got exposed to what he did every day. So it kind of gave me an idea of, what this job would be like at a young age. But spend that time, talk to your relatives, your friends, people like that, your parents, your siblings, and see what they tell you, and join in and just kind of see what they do. Maybe even take an internship so that you can get a feel for that career. But for us, it's always easy. You can always come into a store and apply, and obviously we provide internships, not necessarily in the stores, but in our corporate offices in Corona, California. But I'm always available if anyone has questions about what to do if you wanted to join Circle K. Here's a couple more pictures again of my job, so you can see I spend a lot of time with my team, with other people. On the left, That's my direct team of store managers and my boss in the red shirt, the vice president of the organization. So there's a lot of ways to grow your career. So again, as a regional director, I touch a lot of teams, but there's also a lot of things to learn and other paths I can take. On the right, the other favorite part of my day is customers. So you can see these two customers here who also happen to be USC graduates, right? So one of the benefits is when you talk to people, you get to learn about their backgrounds. And the gentleman to the left in the gray shirt, he is the mayor pro tem of the city of Covina. So he was at our store that we just opened. And the guy on the right, he is the owner of the McIntyre company. So Andy McIntyre, he basically works with the city and manages property. So it was really good to catch up with them and meet a couple of other Trojan brethren there that day. One more thing that I'd like to share with everyone, wherever it is that you work, there will always be certain benefits that are provided. And one of the things with Circle K is that they offer a lot of things. And this company has grown. Years ago, they didn't really do everything. Now they've added many things. But here's a little list of what we offer and something for you to think about when you consider your first job. Do they offer paid vacation? Right, that's a big one. Everyone wants to take time off. So do they offer that? Tuition reimbursement. So I don't think I mentioned earlier, but a couple of years into my career, I was interested in getting an MBA because I thought that it would help me grow in my career, and it has. It also has allowed me to earn more money, obviously meet other people and advance just my knowledge of things. So some companies offer tuition reimbursement. So when I applied for grad school, the Fulfillment Fund really helped me out. So I ended up being admitted to Claremont Graduate University, and I got my MBA in 2003. At the time, I was working for ExxonMobil, another oil company, and they paid for my grad school degree. So at the time, I think that was $50,000, which was awesome, and they took care of it. So ask about this. Healthcare insurance. Every once in a while, you need to go visit the doctor, especially during this day and age. Make sure the companies offer this insurance. At some point, we're all going to retire, and you want to be able to have money saved in the bank. And many companies offer retirement savings plans. Please make sure that you inquire as to what this is and what that looks like. Rewards and recognition. Nobody likes to work and not get recognized or win trips or anything like that. So you should ask, what type of things do you give to your employees when they do a good job? Or are there rewards or recognition at play? Very important. Travel. Do you get a chance to travel for your job, right? So for me, that was very important. I've had a chance to fly all over the world and just learn new cultures and meet new people. And it's been really cool to experience travel within this company. So if that interests you, you should ask. And then obviously, questions around learning new things every day, right? So ask your employer, right? Sometimes, how are ways that I'm going to learn new things, not just in my job, even if you do have an office job, are there ways to go meet people in other offices or seminars or things that they provide, right? So again, for Circle K, I learn things every day because I'm meeting different people. And last but not least, you want a chance to develop your career, right? So if you have that ambition, and everyone should, please ask about what this looks like. So when you take this role, what are the next 2 or 3 steps that could happen by working for a certain company? And for me, there's a lot of other steps in my career if I choose to do that. So I can become a vice president someday and run the entire business unit. I can continue on the director path and work internationally. So there's, like I say, a lot of different things that I can do here. And that's, again, just some of the benefits of working for Circle K.
I just want to call out that we only have about 4 minutes left. So if anyone else wants to add a question to the chat, please do so. Thanks for sharing all those photos. That was really helpful to get a better sense of what your world looks like on a day-to-day basis. What's something that you feel like really was helpful that got you to take this path that you're on?
I think one thing for me that I learned early is the circle of friends that I had, they were all very motivated to go to college. And I think that inspired me to also want to stick with them and say, okay, here's this group of people, all of us, we have this goal, let's do that. And then, you know, over the years, we've kept in touch, and a lot of them now are doing great things. Some of them are principals at high schools. Some of them own their own companies and recording studios. A lot of them are Fulfillment Fund alumni. So been very fortunate to see people that are the assistant district attorneys for Los Angeles that, you know, I knew back in high school when we didn't even know what our paths were going to be. So I think the advice I would give is, you know, hang out with people that, you know, have, you know, good values, are oriented towards, you know, growing themselves and making a future for themselves, because time will fly by, right? And before you know it, you know, the years can go by, and, you know, really, what do you have to look back on, right? And then it's probably planting a small seed in everyone, but look for mentorship if you can. Try to find somebody, whether it's in your family or outside of your family, somebody that you can look up to. Maybe even ask your parents or somebody that they can, you know, have you talk to as somebody that, you know, could be a role model for your career or just academically. It'll pay dividends in the future, because, you know, they'll probably give you some perspectives that your family or your friends possibly can't. And pay it forward at some point, really, right? Don't forget everyone who's taken the time to give you advice in your career or along the path of you growing, and somehow find somebody to reciprocate that to down the road. It's so fulfilling. And I had a chance to do that with a mentee years ago, and it's amazing to be able to give back and see them grow.
Well, we really appreciate that. Thank you so much for giving us your time today. And is there any last words you want to leave everybody with?
No, I'm very appreciative. Thank you so much for having me. I wish everybody the best of luck, and, you know, happy to answer any questions, you know, that come up in the future. But thank you so much, and good luck to everyone.